Welcome to Sunday Smoke Podcast. Your host Vulcan, aka Coach House. Our podcast has ranging topics. Obviously, if you've followed for a long time or short time, you can probably notice that. We talk about fitness. We talk about self-improvement. Talk about wellness. Do some random musings, I would like to say, in philosophy. Like in the recent past, just the past topics that we've talked about include I started off a couple weeks ago, I believe, with what's your plan B? What's your plan? If something goes wrong, what's going on? How can you manage it? You have the capabilities, utilities is the word. I think that's better words. Maybe the utilities to manage the problem. Maybe a little foresight to know what could be a problem. I called one podcast the Tyranny of Convenience, and I went into some random musings of philosophy on that too. Talked about the micro conversations that have gone away. Talked about not having to go to the big box stores anymore. It's just the small things I think we're losing. I don't know what the effect's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad effect, but there's going to be some sort of effect. That's all I wanted to just everybody to think thought process, thought experiment, thought exercise of what's your plan B. If something goes wrong or you don't have something, can you manage the situation? We were talking previously, we took a little hiatus, I would say, a little break. We had one podcast was talking about, we talk about sports tech, when's it worth it? For sure. It's when is it valuable to use the technology in sport, or when does it make a difference? It's more of the line we were going. What's we talk about here? I think we kicked off this season, or the reboot of the Sunday Smoke podcast. It's how do you value your time, or what's your time worth, or I don't know how else to say it. It's just you put a value on it. What is your time worth? How do you justify what you do? So I was going to reach out to y'all with this little live chat. Or chat. Well, you can chat, hopefully. If it's working like I think it works, you can chat. And if I have it set up like it's supposed to be, it'll show on this awesome software I have, Riverside, which I'm going to plug them again, even though I don't know. If it makes any difference, it does not matter. But if you want to chat, it should possibly, maybe, definitely, maybe show up on the little side screen over here. So next topics. I know I brought up before, I was working or still in the process of working with a small podcast like us, doing a little collaboration. Communication has been sporadic, so we'll see what happens. But I have another podcaster, local guy, most of us know from the running community, is starting a podcast. So I'm gonna be on his podcast, or he'll be back on the podcast. He's actually been on a podcast before, way back when. So look back in the archives and see. Maybe I'm going to touch base a little bit today with some of the ideas I came up with. I know I'm kind of not stuck, but I got motivated with the wilderness first aid training I did last weekend with Aaron at Valkyrie Austere Medical Solutions. That's what me brought up the Tyranny of Convenience. It's he's doing a promotion or a campaign, and he's calling it Get to the Fight. He has a little bit different world he lives in, and he works with a lot of first responders. It's he wants to make sure they can get to the fight or get to the emergency or whatever it is. It's using health, fitness, critical thinking. I kind of randomly used on to that idea and probably meandered, great word, doing the podcast about the tyranny of convenience. It's kind of the same thing. Convenience is tyrannical because it's actually it's not making us, but it is pointing us in directions where we can't accomplish things we used to, which is not bad sometimes, but sometimes it's if it goes away, can we manage it? That's what I want to talk about. I like to call it maybe some anti-convenience thinking. I'm not anti-convenience, but we need to think about anti-convenience. We want to become not fragile or anti-fragile. So why don't we do an anti-fragile thought process or thought experiment? How do you become anti-fragile? I don't want to let this, if this goes away, I can't use it, have a utility where I can overcome. I guess a good practice would be, maybe really think about it, is I don't know, I had to come up with some thoughts. I'm trying to read my notes. I don't have my glasses on. I don't know what I did with my glasses. I think I left them upstairs. I've got these cool safety glasses that are bifocals, which I'll probably have to share with y'all. Low light and pencil on white paper and not be able to see with some nearsightedness problems or whatever. All right, so this is my thinking about becoming anti-fragile. So we need to build capacities or rebuild capacities. So how are we going to do that? Let's think about it for a second. If we need to build a capacity or need to rebuild a capacity, so let's pick something in our just activities of daily life. Make it one step harder than it has to be. It's like take something away, but define it. Just like make sure it's a convenience, something that possibly could go away, or if it did go away, but you still need to complete the task. You can plug in so many different things to find that thing. It's totally up to you. It's just like it's all on you. Just do something manually. Don't rely on Google. Don't rely on YouTube. Like if you don't put yourself in a situation where it's, I don't want to say inconvenient, but like schedule some inconvenience because it builds so many different things. It like builds confidence, benefits, and it's like effort rewards satisfaction. After it's said and done, you might feel the frustration during it, but it builds satisfaction. It's like if you complete whatever task you're doing and it's difficult, it's almost, I would say it's almost euphoric. It could become addictive, maybe. It's like the benefits, like confidence, the stress that you get during it's actually a benefit. I mean, I'm just thinking, processing as we go. Like if you have really high stressful situations trying to get something done, and everybody's anxiety levels are different, but I think it's a benefit to get yourself in that anxious or stressed situation. And then when you complete it, it's almost like lifting weights. It's the same principle as lifting weights or training or running, or because you put your body in a stressful situation, so you're better later. You better mentally, better physically, and it will populate into so many different things. It's just not just what task you're doing. It will populate into whatever task you're doing. How about that? Not the task that was stressful. Whatever task becomes stressful, because now you're going to be a little bit more comfortable, a little more confident. You've been there. You know you can complete the task and you can manage the task and get through it. And you see on the other side, it still sucked, but you were able to do it. So that just the way this little microprocessor works up here that keeps everything going. If you expose yourselves to a little stress, anxiety, it will get better and better and better in everything that's stressful. Okay, I see my notes kind of, actually need to fail at some of your tasks to actually see the benefits or see your capacity, see what you need to work on. I talked about it, I think, in one of my little shorts or a part of the podcast, the Tyranny, or what's your plan B, or what's next. I forget what I call it. Failure is a good thing. Actually, you need to fail. Then be critical about yourself in a good way. Don't be critical when they say, I give up. You be critical and see how you can fix it. See what you did well. I think that was one of the scenarios I tried to give everybody was let's pretend. Let's put ourselves in a situation, in a controlled situation. And, I think the one that comes to mind, the first one, and it just keeps coming to mind, is like pretend. Go in pretend world, and it's like, say, hey, here I am. My car has failed. I am grabbing the stuff that I need to do whatever task, go to work, go to school, and go to the park. And you pick the mileage, you pick the time. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's 2 miles, whatever metric you want to use, and just go do it. Like, get yourself uncomfortable, get yourself in that situation, get anxious, manage it, and see what happens on the other side. I promise you, it will be good. It is better. I know, actually, it's the weekend. I was out and about. Shocking, right? Most people know us or know me. I do like people. I like to talk to people. Again, becoming a lost art. I talked about the micro conversations. It's going away because we don't go out. I had another experience or conversation the past 24 hours talking about this subject, bringing it up randomly, talking about I've made these shorts and it was in the podcast. There's another thing that's that I was not aware of because I'm not one of those people. I won't say those people. just never been presented to me. There's a lot of people that do go out. I keep using the big box stores, grocery store, or whatever, or they go out in public. But I noticed a lot today. They're plugged in. They have earbuds in, or they're plugged in, so they're not aware of their environment. So they're not going to have those micro conversations with people, or good morning, good afternoon, or why do you like that? It's like, I see you're buying this. What are you going to make for dinner? Just you plug in wherever you're at. It started making me think of, I don't know if I have the book up here. I'm looking up here if I've books I've read, reread, to be read over here. But with the earbuds, I see them a lot when I travel. A lot in the airports. There's no conversations going on between people there either. But the earbuds are listening to music. They're listening to books. I get it. I prefer personally, like, have a book, read it, like touch it, not on the screen. Can take notes, getting off the subject. But the book that I reread this summer, so I recommend to read or reread if you haven't, is Fahrenheit 451. So it brings up the little thing called seashells. And that's how advertisers and everything is. They have seashells, which are headphones, earbuds, or whatever. They're just constantly talking to the people. And then they have their family, which is big screens on these 4 walls. Well, it could be 4 walls. They eventually, I can't admit, Margaret, Maggie, killing it. I can't recall right now. It's talking about she wanted to increase her family and get another screen on the wall because of her fireman husband. Reread it. Become Anti-Fragile. I know I'm getting random musings on here. Another anti-fragile thing is, like, if you're going somewhere you haven't been before or going somewhere you've been before, look on GPS, look at the map, look at the directions, and then when you leave to go to that place, turn off the GPS. Use this, use sight, use all your senses, and go do it. What's the worst thing that can happen? You take a wrong turn, you have to figure it out. You get in a situation where you anxious, stressed, and you actually have to get there in the next few minutes. Turn GPS on, get there. Make it one step harder in some aspect of your life to see what you can accomplish so you can fight the tyranny of convenience, or be ready if the convenience goes away. I don't say fight the tyranny of convenience. I don't know. I had a good day. Played some disc golf this morning. That's my new hobby. What else we can talk about? The anti-fragile. Learn a new skill. That's what I put on here. I was coming up with things last night. Like, learn how to tie knots. I don't know if you camp. Just the ability to tie knots. Help somebody else tie a knot. Happens in my world sometimes, especially when I go travel or go to different events. I go to a lot of trail race events, kind of outdoor activity things. Always knowing how to tie knots, great thing. Could just be fun, just to be show off, or be conversation pieces. You can do another anti-fragile thing. Get rid of the burden of convenience, I would say. Maybe it's a burden. Cook something without a recipe. Or try to just make your own recipe. I know some of this stuff is just, I just don't. Go to the library. That's a good one. I think that's becoming a lost art. To research something. Don't use this. Don't use AI. Don't use Google. Go in there and actually look at the documents that have been put in for AI and Google. Use this more. Anti-fragile. Eliminate convenience. Add utility. Like, fix something. Teach somebody something. That's another thing. Take the stairs. If you're going up the second, third floor, take the stairs. It's tricky some places. I've been in a lot of places around the country. I know it's marked. Exits are marked. But it's really convenient to find the elevator. But knowing which door is the stairs sometimes is a little tricky. You have to, use your senses, be aware. Usually we're really close to the elevator, and it's usually at the end of the buildings for, think fire escapes. What else can you think about, or I can think about? I can't see, even wearing my glasses, photochromatic, and they're, I don't know, getting a little dark. Saying, I'll edit some of this, possibly. I don't know. Possibly not. We'll see what it looks like. I really enjoy doing the podcast. Next topics, I'm going to do the philosophy of the sport. Like I said, I'll come up with different ideas. You have ideas, send it to me. Send it to Sunday Smoke Podcast. Sunday Smoke Podcast is on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on YouTube. If you can send it to House Family Fitness, Coach House, on the book, the gram, whatever. I just want to try to do maybe a little live spot and see how I would do. I'm not looking at the camera exactly, so I moved it up. But, it's just fun. Really enjoy it. Give me some ideas. Give me some criticism. All good. So, glad I did this. I'm going to keep doing it. Look, I need y'all to Subscribe, follow, share, like, comment, all that good stuff on the platform, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Google, iHeart, you name it. Rumble, it's different. No, just try it out. Riverside, great software. If you're still here, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies. Let's get these numbers up so more people can see this internet gold.